Hello and welcome to episode 12 of season 2 of the Arnivore podcast. I am Sadie. I will be your host. I am Blue Ruin on Ravelry, Sadie Ruin on Twitter and Instagram. I don't know where else I am anything. We Shoot Stars on YouTube, maybe? I don't know. I don't actually know. It's attached to my email. I should know better things. I should think better knows. And my hair looks like butt today. I'm just going to tell you right off the bat that I did not wash it yesterday or today. It's going to get washed tonight. But as you can see, I dyed it. And it's two-tone. And in the sun, it doesn't look that bad because this is kind of a reddy purple. And then it goes down to this like really purple where the blue was. But the more I wash it, the more this stuff is going to wear out, and the weirder my hair is going to look. So I try to be, and I couldn't find my dry shampoo. For the most part, you wouldn't notice in my hair except for my bangs, which look like ass. I just swear word for the day. So it's enough talk about my hair. I told you it was bugging me and I was going to dye it, so I did. And subsequently, I did too much that day because that day I was like cleaning and doing stuff, and then the next day I woke up and I felt like butt because I was still not over the plague, the lesser plague I was fighting. I still have a bit of the and stuffiness, so my voice sounds off, but I'm feeling a lot better. However, bending over and standing up, still problematic because, sinus draining, pressure, not fun. But, you know what you do when you can't bend very much and you've overdone it and you need to sit down and relax for a day? A lot of knitting and cross-stitching, and you just go craft crazy, and that's awesome. So, where shall we start? Oh, I am wearing what I'm wearing. This is, I don't think I've even shown this on the podcast. I think I made it during my hiatus. This is handspun. I believe it was a spunky eclectic handspun. Don't quote me on that. And it's a free pattern by Caitlin French. I believe this is the 701 or 107. One that has 7 and 0 in the title. It's got very minimal detailings on the edge there. You've got your yarn over eyelets, and then you've got slip stitches. It's a very pleasant knit. You don't need a lot of yarn. I think it took me a night. And yeah. I suppose it would be helpful if I had recorded these things in Ravelry and made a note or something, but I didn't, because that's what I do. And I really don't remember. I know it's a Caitlin French pattern, and I know it's handspun, and it's either spunky eclectic or wool gathering. I can't remember. And yeah, it's soft. And I blocked it because I did I had 2 days worth of blocking where I washed and blocked a bunch of stuff to make it flea free for sure, and I did all of the Christmas gifts, and yeah, it was pretty intense. Let me tell you, it takes a long time for things to dry in the Pacific Northwest when it's cold and rainy. There's a lot of moisture, which makes it very hard. Seriously, is my husband home? Hold on, pausing. So yes, it is my husband, and he is home now, and I believe he's going to have a nap. Don't quote me on that. He may play video games. Or he may play on his phone. Who knows what he'll do. But he's home now. So, we're going to move right into everything. I think that's where I was getting to anyway. I'm going to make weird noises as I reach across to grab things. Right. So, and happy 2016, by the way. This year is going to be way better than last year. I'm calling it now. I'm hoping that calling it now will mean it actually is true. The other thing I'm remembering right now is that I need to get that Even Star started soon. Okay. Anywho. Whatever. So, you saw last week that I was almost on these, and I was like, I think I can get them done as the last pair of 2015. And I did, because there was absolutely no reason I couldn't. It was a heel, I believe. I believe I had finished the heel. Why didn't I get my sock blockers? They're like right there, too. They're right there. You can see I've got a red one, I've got a red set, and then I've got a set of the SSK ones, and they're hanging off a hook right behind this lamp. Did I get them? No. Am I going to get them? No. You do not need to see my pajama pants or my butt. So, whatever. They're stripy socks. They're stripy socks of awesome. This is Desert Vista Dye Works in the Viso base, I believe. See, I had the tag, now I don't have the tag. I kept the tag until I was finished. And then I wrapped it around the leftovers so that it could go in my leftover sock stuff. It's the usual base. It's the 75-25 Merino Superwash Nylon. Superwash Merino Nylon. You can't get Superwash Nylon. I think it's already super, whatever. And I put the heels on. Put the little heels on. And then I couldn't wear them until I showed them. So now I've showed them and I can wear them and be happy. This again is the Dia de los Muertos colorway. This is the, I believe is a 12 stripe. Of awesome. Of awesome. And I have a pair now. And I can wear them. And I remember wanting to finish them for October. And I didn't. And because of the fleas. Now I have them and I want to wear them all the time. So I'll probably wear them this weekend to make myself happy, because that's what I do. That is what I do. The other pair, and I said I didn't know if I was going to be able to finish them in 2015 because I had one done. And I was really close. I think it was at the heel on the second, or no, it was like, okay, cuff. I was about there on the cuff, and I didn't think I would be able to finish them, and I couldn't. I didn't finish them in 2015. They were the first finish of 2016, but I'm not counting them towards my 16 pairs in 2016 because I had way too much of them done for me personally, because I know I can knit a foot in a night if it's a really, if it's a chill night, if, you know, hubby's gaming and I might be watching a YouTube or something, or watching him game, depending on the game, I can get a foot done. So, for me or my mother, not for my husband, because he has big feet. So I didn't, they were the first finish, but again, I had so much done. So I did work on them on New Year's, and I think I got the heel turned and everything, and I got really close, and then I was like, there's no way that a couple inches in a toe qualifies it. It's my own personal thing. I don't know if Tracy will agree with me. I'm sure she will, because hey, we're just agreeable people. But it's nice to have another pair done. Super excited about that, actually. Oh, I was going to grab something and I didn't. So that'll happen next week. Whatever. It wasn't important anyway, and it doesn't relate to anything. So these are the confetti sprinkles, I think, or garden sprinkles, garden confetti. I said it on the last show. Confetti sprinkles. I want to say sprinkles, and I don't think that's right. Something confetti. It's a free pattern. Do I still have it on my... Here, give me 2 seconds. I'll look it up on my iPad. Which I hate. You know, I hate when I do this to you guys because I feel like it chode. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only podcaster who's ever used that word on the podcast. Ever. Documents. Did I get rid of it already? I know it. There we go. Garden Sprinkles. It is sprinkles. It's not confetti. It's Garden Sprinkles. It is by Little Skein and the Big Wool, I believe. Yes, Little Skein and the Big Wool. There is the picture of them there. It works really well with highly variegated yarns. It's free. I highly recommend it if you're thinking of, like, if you want a brainless sock. Again, and because it's free, I can tell you this, it's a 12-row repeat, and only 4 of those rows have slip stitches, and that is the limiting of your patterning. So I did do the round toe like she recommends, and it's a shorter toe than I'm used to. I like my wedgy toes. Like, okay, so here's the difference. So I followed the rounded toe for this pattern, right? Okay, so you can see that one. And this is my standard toe. So this is the difference between toes. If I put them at the same place, they start decreasing. I don't get as much length. Here, I can even put it in front. I don't get as much length out of the rounded toe. I'm missing some length. I need that length. You know why? Because I have a big toe. Literally the big toe. It's big and it stands out. And it needs more space. So I don't know that I'm ever going to do that particular rounded toe again. It was nice to try. It was fun to learn. And maybe if you have short toes or toes that all like even out, like I have duck feet, so I understand toes that even out. Bloody hell. But mine definitely have slants. Some have definite slants, some have straight across, where your toes are almost all the same length, or they just slide very little. So maybe the round toe would be something you'd want to try if there's a very unnoticeable slope to your toes. I have a significant slope, so I like my little. I like the toes. I always do. But having said that, I still love these socks. They are beautiful. Ta-da. And you can kind of see the purple. It's not picking up as well as it should, but there's purple in it, and the purple is awesome. It's kind of hiding. This is Fright Night by Leading Men Fiber Arts, and it is, I want to say it's the Spotlight or Showcase base. It's one of the two. It's the 80/20 Superwash Merino Nylon, and it's squishy and wonderful. And yay. The sad thing is, okay, so you know there's the stock blank craze going on, right? And I'm like, I'm not buying anything. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll buy a sock blank, because they're pretty. And why do I want to buy a sock blank? I don't know. Because, you know, it's pre-knitted yarn, and that might bug me. I'm pretty sure it would bug me. Although I do frog things and then just knit them, like I don't reset the skein so it's straight, like a lot of people will, because I really don't care. I'm impatient. But I watched Karen do one, and now I kind of want one. And then I saw that Stephen had these really cool ones, and then they were sold out when I went to go look at them. So I'm guessing it's the universe's way of saying, Sadie, don't buy a sock blank. But I really want one. I might buy one at some point, but I keep looking at them. Like the Gales Arts ones are beautiful, and Knitting in Color has some amazing ones she just posted on Instagram that are going up on Sunday. I may have to make a mental note of that. I don't know. See, I'm trying to be good. Trying to be good is not a good thing for me. But, there you go. And I'm really snotty, and I'm really sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off so I'm not looking at it. Right, so last week I talked about the 16 pairs in 2016 that I am doing with Schnuffeltier, who is the Passionate Spinner podcast on YouTube. Passionate, P-A-S-S-I-O-K-N-I-T. If I didn't say that, I would have spelt it wrong if I didn't know that, so that's why I'm saying it. It's passionate. But it's passionate, but it's play on words, which is awesome. But if I didn't know about the play on words, I would have typed it wrong and not been able to find her. So there you have it. There's a Ravelry group. You should join that too. And you should join it because she has prizes. This whole 16 pairs in 2016, there are prizes. She's offering them. So, I debated it. She said I didn't have to, so maybe I won't. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just find some stuff and give it to her. Or she can draw for it and then I'll send it out or something like that. I don't know. More discussions will be had. Either way, 16 adult socks in 2016. Which, by the way, has kick-started my sock knitting bug like nothing before right now. So we will jump right into socks, shall we? Which is the first pair I started? This is the first pair. I'm going to show you. I started 3 pairs of socks already. It's January 8th. I have started 3 pairs of socks. There is no sign of stopping. I had 2 pairs picked out for after New Year's because in my former traditions, and I'm going to keep blah blah blah. In my former traditions of knitting socks, I always had a patterned and a self-striping. So I'll probably keep that going. But I don't know. I know not. And it's in my Pam bag. My Pam bag, which kicks any bag you are using's butt. Just saying. Unless you made it yourself. No. Pam wins. It's the Pam show. Remember that. I am knitting Biscot and C. I don't actually know how to say this. See, I should just ask, what's her real name? I know it's Roxanne with 2 R's. She does the Aiguille du Nord podcast, which, FYI, really screwed up my husband when I watched it. Being Canadian and having taken French mandatorily till grade 9, I can hear it and understand it better than I can speak it. So I can watch her and get most of it, except where she talks really fast. Then I'm kind of lost, but for the most part, I kind of get it. Whereas my husband was listening as he was gaming, and all he understood was spare ribs and porridge. Those are the 2 English words that were used, and he's like, I understood spare ribs. So, yeah, anyway. I think it's Myra, Maria. No, it's like Moira. I don't know. And if you understand French and you like French, you should look it up. It's on YouTube. It's a Aiguille du Nord. I just put Laine du Nord, like wool of the north, because I thought it was wool of the north, and I didn't know it was Aiguille of the North. So if you type in Laine du Nord, it brings up the podcast, and you can go backwards, etc., etc. So if you understand French and you like watching French podcasts, go check it out. But how do I say this? I know I should know how to say this, but I don't. And this is out of Quebec. This is out of St. Bruno. And screwing me up because it's all English and French, and they use the metric system. So there's the information on the back. I believe this is either a hallucination or the Little Cauldron. I think this is Le Petit Chanson, which is Little Cauldron. To focus. And I started it ages ago, and then I ripped it out because I used the needles for something else. So I decided I'm going to knit this because it's already caked, and that makes life easy. So on a US 1 2.25 millimeter needles, and these are carbons. It picks carbons. I actually really like them. They've got that steel tip. I believe this is a carbon. They got the steel tip and then the wood shaft. Really nice, actually. I don't mind them. Knitter's Pride. Knitter's Pride carbons? Knit Pro in the UK, I think. I don't know. So here's what it looks like. I have 2 skeins of Biscot, and see, I have to cross my legs like Dramatic Knits does, and my one leg just fell asleep, so I had to rearrange. But there's no subtle way to do this in this chair, so I just suck it up. That's what we do. I have 2 skeins of this, and it's self-striping, but it's the gradient style self-striping, you know, so it kind of goes blah, blah, blah. I've discovered that that's a beast to put the afterthought heel in, and I was going to just do a short row heel from the other end a la Pam, but I didn't. I looked up short row heels and I was like, oh hell no, because it was late last night and I was like, I just want to keep knitting. So yeah, I was watching Beat Bobby Flay. I like it when they beat him. I hate Bobby Flay. I'm sorry if you love him, but I hate him. I've hated him for many years. I watched the show to make sure people beat him. And in case Michael Simon shows up, because he's my deployment boyfriend. So, I've put in the afterthought heel. That's my purpose of showing in here. There's just some spare yarn. And I'm going down the foot. I'll probably have one done. Oh, God, my hair's dirty. It's so stringy and dirty right now. Why do I even podcast when I look this bad? Because I love you. Now, as I recall last year, there was like a big foo-for-ah because, was it Jasmine or Gigi? One of the knit girls had some of this and they washed it and it faded like hell. And there was a big kerfuffle, which kind of made me not want to knit these. But then again, I was like, these were a present from my husband. I wanted to knit these. I'm going to knit them. Whatever. If it fades, it fades. And I don't know. I don't know if it's gotten any better. I don't know if it's gotten any worse. This is particularly old. Maybe they used different processes back then. I will wash it and see what happens. When the scandal came out, I call it the scandal. It really isn't a scandal. The thing is, she washed it, it faded, and then the company said, well, you shouldn't have washed it that way. Which I get, okay? Most dyers will tell you not to use soak because it pulls out all the color. Like any color that has been left behind, it'll pull it out and it'll muddy all your colors if they don't use soak. I use soak I wash stuff with soap before it gets to people, and it'll still pull out. Like, I mean, there's no way around it. Your best to see, that's the thing about this. This, they said to hand wash. Oh no, this says machine washable on mine. That's old school. Machine washable, lay flat to dry. Most people will tell you to throw it in the machine because using laundry detergent isn't going to hurt it the way a soak will when it comes to self-striping yarns. So long and short of it, soak is going to screw with your stripes, whereas whatever laundry detergent you use, I think I use Tide Free and Clear. I have to use that stuff because I'm allergic to everything else. It's not going to pull out the colors like soak will. I don't know why soak does that, but subsequently, the Knitmore girl that was unimpressed figured out that if you use citric acid and you microwave them before you wash them, this will make them better. I just want to say that as a dyer, if you haven't set your shit and you aren't using vinegar or citric acid, which are the two main setting ingredients, you have no business dyeing. I would be offended if someone told me, well, you should set it. You need to reset it. It hasn't been set well enough. No. Okay? If I'm going to sell you shit, it's going to come set. Now, if you use soak and it pulls the color out, well, that does happen sometimes, and then you take care of it as it arises. I know that has happened to Susan on a couple of occasions, and she's changed. She actually has like information on her website about how you shouldn't use soak with her stuff. And I don't use soak with her stuff. I throw them in the washing machine. They stay bright and wonderful. I just lay them flat to dry so that they don't felt and shrink. Having said that, I have no problem with it pulling out. It does happen occasionally when you're high volume indie doing multiple skeins. Sometimes there is one that gets away from you. Having said that, if a dyer tells you that you need to set the yarn again or you need to set your fiber again, I wouldn't buy from them. Set the bloody yarn. Everybody does it. Okay, end of rant. So I'm going to see how badly these fade when I wash them. And I'll probably knit the other pair. You know, I've had them for a while. I've had these skeins since I lived in Canada, which is like 4 years ago now. So 3 years this year. So, I mean, I like them. I'd like them to stay this way. I don't know if they will. And if they don't, whatever. I'm not going to write a nasty note in French. It's probably, I could, but I'm not going to. Okay, so the next set in my Bad Amy bag, which I cast on more recently, with a yarn that I know is always epic. You may recall, it's the Bits and Bobs base. I don't remember the makeup of this. I'm sorry, Gail. In the Big O colorway, which is awesome. The Big O. Oh. I knit a pair of Rose City rollers for my mom out of this already, and then I wanted to make a pair for myself, so I am. Just kind of like a cheater pair, because they're shorties. They're short socks. But I figure I have a big enough foot that this justifies them being a pair of socks. And so there we go. You basically knit, and this is again a free pattern, so you knit an inch or an inch and a half, which becomes your roller, right? Then you do your heel flap, you turn, you gusset. I finished my gusset, and I'm working down the foot. I'm knitting it on Chiagu. I want to say Chiagu. Hold up. Hi, Mom. If I don't look at it, she will keep pinging. So I'm knitting these on Chiagu US 1 2.25 millimeter needles, because that's what I knit everything in. If it's 64 stitches, I know it will fit my foot if I use a US 1. I don't actually know what that means about my gauge. I know a lot of people go up or down. I did, however, the stripy socks I started for the hubby out of the Lollipop, I pulled those out and I frogged them because the 64 was not going to be big enough. So I'm going to go up to a 72 on a 0. But I'm going to wait because that's going to be some serious grind. So there's the first sock. Imagine I'll have that sock done next week too. And I love Gail's art. Gail's art is awesome. As I've said before, Gail's art is awesome, and everyone should buy Gail's art. Okay. The last sock I cast on. See, I told you. Year of the socks, I needed to cast on 3 pairs in less than a week. What? This is my Seashore Sharon bucket. I love my bucket. It's so awesome. I've got yarn on the bottom because it's so easy to move around and it stands up all pretty. I am using highly coveted yarn. I am. It is Soft Like Kittens, the double helix sock, prototype 152. Again, you can't get this anymore. She stopped dying. I'm a horrible person. I know. I believe this is the bug skein, and if you watched her podcast, you know that there was a skein that involved bugs, and I'm pretty sure this is it, and I don't care, because she washed it really good. I am doing the Comet sock by Stephanie van der Linden, and this is really old. This copy you can get it. It's a free pattern on Ravelry now, and it was originally published in December 2007 for the Socken Creative Liste, which I was part of. I don't speak German. I don't really read German. But I really like the patterns, and the patterns you can kind of get around if you know basic sock construction. So I joined that Yahoo group back in 2007. I was a part of it, and I printed off all the patterns I liked. This was January 2008, so that's how long I've had this printed out. And I figured I should knit it. It's 66 stitches, so I was like, well, that's not too hard. Oh, goodness me. I need to get a new sticky note for it. Again, free pattern, and confusing sizes. Okay. The UK people are all like, whatever. 38, 39, and 40, 41. Or 2, 40, 41. Whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I can make it work. And they're adorable socks. And, oh wait, I'll put this over, where am I going to put this? Damn it. I'm just falling apart, don't mind me. It's also on US 1 2.25, so these are actually, I'm doing it with 2 circular needles. Show you the yarn. The gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. This is the yarn. Like I said, find some in a D-stash. It's kind of awesome. I have done 2.5 pattern repeats. I did the ribbing. My intention was to get the ribbing done because I hate ribbing and then just walk away from it, but that didn't work very well because I really like the pattern. That showed off better. Kind of. Like, I mean, it is a really busy yarn to be doing the pattern on, and you can see it more in real life than you can in the actual sock. There we go. So it's got the open eyelet V's, and then it's got a cable cross. And it's fun. It's easy to memorize. I had no problem. I listened to most of the first, I think I did the 2 first episodes of Serial while knitting these, and I could follow the story, which, by the way, the 2nd season of Serial has started. And it's awesome, and they're following the case of Bo Bergdahl, which I find very interesting. Because, side tangent, here's why it's interesting. I know, this is the episode of side tangents. I'm just going to call it side tangent. The reason the case of Bo Bergdahl is interesting to me, or why I'm impressed that Serial's following it and enjoying listening, is with what my husband does. I understand the way the rules work, and I understand the importance of the rules. However, as a Canadian, I am horrified because, again, it's the big difference, right? Because Edward Snowden is horrible in the United States, but in Canada he's a superhero. So it's just a difference of culture and how we interpret things and how we process things. So from my background of anthropology, it's very interesting to see how America is handling it versus how it's viewed in Canada. A lot of the stuff that's going on is very interesting from a dual, from 2 different perspectives of citizenship. I understand why a lot of things are the way they are in America, but as a Canadian, I'm still slightly outraged all the time, but as a Canadian, I also won't say I'm outraged, so it's more like quiet indignation. I won't apologize. That's the one thing. I won't apologize this time. That's a snarky Canadian who doesn't apologize for something. It's like, I hit you, but I didn't say sorry. It's the passive-aggressive way of Canadians. I rammed my cart into your cart in the grocery store, but I didn't say I'm sorry because you blocked the aisle. This is a true story. That is actually some serious passive-aggressive Canadianisms. I'm Canadian, what can I say? You can take me into Canada, but I'm always going to be the same way. I grew up too long there. It's ingrained in my soul. My last work in progress for knitting, in my Zigzag Stitches bag. Speak of Canadians, she is one. This is the bigger boxy bag. Totally worth the bigger boxy bag price. I've had it for a long time. I think I bought it in Canada, or maybe I didn't. I don't remember. I've got my SSK Ellipsy shawl, which is out of Knitty & Color, who is epic and awesome and just won a cruise. This is the Pandora's Aquarium 4 ounces of merino silk 80/20. Here is what's left of the ball. It's starting to fall apart. It's very mishy. The center is mished. Like, the center is, can I put it on? I can't put it on as a bracelet yet, I don't think. You know, when your yarn gets to that point where you can just slide it over your hand. Maybe it is. Yep. Yarn bracelet. So as you can tell, there's a lot missing from the middle. Which means I'm getting far. Well, it's got to be done by the end of the month anyway, to be eligible. It's a very enjoyable knit. I did the other 2 episodes of Serial while doing this. I'm debating ending it early because it is getting close to my wingspan. But then I have to do math to figure out how many yards I have left. Don't really want to do that. It is knit on, I believe, a 4. This is a case of it's not marked and I don't know, but I love these needles. They're the Inox or the Prim. They sell them at the Golden Willow in Regina. I'm pretty sure you can get them in the UK. It's hard to find them anywhere else. Sometimes you can come across them in Goodwill or something, but I love these. They are my favorite steel needles. Although I think maybe I should give wood another try because I've been watching too much Schnuffeltier. And she's always using the Holzenstein. And I actually have a pair of those from when I was in the Wollmeise club. We got a set of the double pointed needles in the, I can't remember which one it is, but she called them violins, so there was violin wood. I did knit something on them, and I did have an enjoyable experience, but I feel like I should go back and try again. Now, I found a use for the pocket. I think I mentioned the pocket inside before, which is good, because you can like store things you need, be it your waste yarn or your measurement thing, but I made my tassels. I have to have 3 tassels, so I went off the back end. My tassels are all screwed up from being smushed into the pocket. Isn't that always the way, though? So I made 3 tassels. Here's my 3 tassels. 3 tassels. I haven't trimmed the ends or anything yet, but I have 3 tassels. They are ready to go. Because I was curious as to if I was going to be able to judge the end. And I don't know if I can still, because it's like, stop when you're 6 rows away. Well, I'd have to start weighing this, and that's not going to happen, okay? I'm lazy that way. I don't like things I have to weigh. I don't want to have to take my friggin' my scale with me. No. Okay? I don't have a drug scale. Although, if you're on Amazon, you can get a little pocket portable scale. I think the Yarn Harlot has one. In Canada, you have to provide ID because it's actually, they use it for, people use it for measuring out illegal substances. Because it does go that low. I don't know about the States. You could probably get it off Amazon, but I call them drug scales because they're literally the size of a calculator, and the whole purpose is to have essential portability so you can go and measure your product as you're selling it to people in various places. The things you learn from me. Rightio. So, that's my knitting. I do have some spinning stuff to talk about. For the first time in months. I watched the bonus episode of Schnuffeltier where she talked about how to take many different single skeins and mix them together so you get a sweater skein that doesn't look blotchy. Blotchiness is my worst theory. Now, I have done the Boogie Knits, the Amy King less is more theory for doing a cardigan, which is where you have single skeins and then you pick out a color that matches together and you alternate them in such a way that you get, it looks more put together. So I've done a sweater that's that, and I really liked it. Holy crap, my foot fell asleep. Oh, pins and needles. I know you wanted to see that. So, I decided I have an asinine amount of Into the World, which shouldn't be as precious in my head as it is. So, and the colorways tend to kind of go together. We've been in it for a while, so you can pick like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the colors are going to be similar because a lot of the palettes are similar. So I took 6. I did the whole thing. I didn't go up to 8. I know Tracy does, but I thought 6 bumps at 4 ounces. So 4 times 4 gives me 12. 5 gives me 16. Yes. So 5 gives me a pound, 6 gives me a little over a pound, and I know that when I knit the vitamin K, or vitamin D, sorry, vitamin K. When I knit the vitamin D, I had 13 ounces, and I had a skein left over after I finished it. So I knew that having a little over a pound would be enough for me. So I put it all together. This one's going to be like horribly, there's glare. Ooh, there's glare. So I didn't have a bag big enough to have all of them, so I actually have 2 bags. This is 1 bag. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you guys this one as easily. This is my other bag. Yes, it's the villain bag. My husband got it for me, and I love it because it has my Maleficent. And it is packed full. So I'm probably going to start spitting it tonight. I'm not even going to lie to you. We've been flea-free for many, many weeks now. At least 2 or 3. And Bebop has had his 2nd flea treatment. So the girls are due on the 15th, I believe. I feel it's okay for me to start spinning now because we're out of the clear. We're in the clear. Nothing is survived. It's we're using the same stuff that Bella Socks uses or told me about. So, and she's had great results. And she's in Florida where it's all like moist and flea ridden. Well, not flea ridden, but they have the perfect breeding grounds for them. So I will stop talking about the F word. And so next podcast you will probably see some spinning. I'm not gonna, normally I would alternate. Like I would spin a bobbin and then I would put it away and then I would spin another bobbin. But I think I only have like 3 or 4 for my mini spinner. So I will be doing as many as I have, and then I'll be applying the first and last, and then I'll do a bunch more, and then I'll apply first and last, just because I'm not going to buy a bunch of more bobbins until I'm like at that point. And I'm not at that point yet. I'm just getting right back into spinning. So that is that. On to pointy things. I have done a lot of pointy things this week. I'm sure you enjoy watching me drink. Actually, I've found that some people who've never been around people with lip rings get really fascinated by watching us drink because, yeah, I know I've got a drinking problem. It's just people like watching that stuff. So I did, first off, I'll start with some of the things I bought because I did do some buying related to Christmas. Christmas money in my hands. I decided to join in on the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Pumpkin Passport, even though I haven't finished the Once Upon a Time Story Sampler, and I didn't really like last year's, for reasons I won't go into. But, I don't know, I like the idea of doing around the world. And now these, I don't know why, but these always make me think of the Middle East, so now I'm going to think of the Knitting Expat, who is a great podcast you should also check out. I've been marathoning her this week. The Knitting Expat podcast. She lives in Dubai, which I find absolutely entertaining. That she lived, or no, she's in Bahrain and she lived in Dubai. Because, you know, it's one of the places my husband's been. So, it's interesting to hear that stuff. Anyway, bought that. It gets released on the 15th, so that's going to get started on the 15th. And then, okay, this is this is problematic because this is what happens when I watch podcasts. So I watch a podcast called The Evergreen Needle, and she's kind of awesome. And she likes dark stuff, which means she's my kind of people's. And she showed this book, and it was on Amazon. It was like $9. So I had to have it because we have Prime. Like, I mean, $9 on Prime. And it's Charted Peasant Designs from Saxon, Transylvania. And it's got, okay, it's got explanations as to what everything is. Here, let's see if I can see. It tells you what every plate is, so you understand what the symbols are and what they are in reference to, which page they're on, what they're made from. But man, these are some really awesome, weird-ass designs. And I figured I could design something myself, or I could just use, like, why is there a reindeer with, like, a tree coming out of its butt? I know I'm not supposed to show you charts, but if you can really, like, no, you can't make anything out of that fast. Like, there's griffins and peacocks and reindeer and really intricate Quaker style designs that I really like. But I also like that I know what everything means. Like there's the Roman running dog, the holy salver and feathered tree of life, Star of Bethlehem, the wise fox in the tree and the fountain of life, a double eagle, peacock of the quaternary star of progression, Lady of the Rose, Wild Rose Trinity, Sweet Pea Star, Owls and Oak, Art Nouveau. So I had to have it. I really want to do stuff with it. I'll probably spend the majority of this year trying to chart out what I want to do with it and what color I want to use, because it does seem to be all of the same color. And the other one, and I think it's like, her name's Carol or something. I subscribe to her. She's got 3 podcasts out. I will try and remember to post that next week. She showed this. Woo. I'm gonna, ready for me to butcher some different languages. She showed this. Geometrisch Muster nach historischen Entwürfen. No idea. Geometric something stitch and historical something by Edith Blocher. And she showed some of the pictures of these things, and I was like, I need that, because apparently I have a thing for Quakers. It's a Quaker style, is what it's called. But I really love the coloring. I really love the I like this style of stuff. It just entertains me because it's both small and large. And if you look on the back, it's been finished as framed as a pillow, or these are little biscornu. I kind of want to make a biscornu. I've never made a biscornu. I'm feeling the vibe to make a biscornu. It's small. I have small pieces of fabric that would work for the biscornu. Let's see, I'm trying to show you this. I'm showing you the pattern page. There we go. So if you look at this, of course, it's all written in German, as one would expect. But so 141 stitches by 181 stitches, because let's face it, that looks exactly the same. It tells you the approximate size, and then it tells you the DMC numbers and how many threads to use. I'm sure I could always type it into Babelfish if I needed to figure anything else out. But they just turn out so gorgeously. Like, really stinking gorgeously. They don't tell you, like, they'll tell you the DMC that's used, but they don't color code it, which is fine. Okay, so apparently the one that I thought was a pillow is actually a roll. It's a Muster für ein Beutelchen. Beutelchen? Beutelchen. I'm just gonna make shit up now. Watch me completely bastardize another language. So these are the biscornu. I'm trying not to invalidate copyright laws here. Those are biscornu, and biscornu are for their pin cushions. They're pin cushions. It's a fancy way of saying pin cushion. And they separate out the motives, and they've got them all set up in different ways, and they're gorgeous. Like, you can do them all in one color and have them come out, like, masterfully. There. Like, aren't they gorgeous? Gorgeous. I do love the shading. I might try and figure out how they did the shading on the front cover, because it came out really beautifully. Or maybe they tell you how to do that, and somewhere in here. So there are 3 full patterns. And it was either $9 or $10, maybe 11 tops. Again, free shipping, because that's who I am. So, on to things I have actually made. I show you this guy again, my harumph that I am working on, and everybody calls me crazy. His name is Harumph. He's a mini harumph, artwork by Suzanne Giesman. He's a HADE, Heaven and Earth Design. HADE is like, it's the acronym for Heaven and Earth. This is going to be 212 stitches wide by 319 stitches high. It has 88 colors. I am bat crap crazy. I should have picked a different shade to start with. Let me tell you, because the confetti on this thing is nuts, and it's not going to get better. If you look at the picture, it's not going to get better. Like, there's a lot of stippling and spots, and that's going to, hopefully it doesn't drive me mental. It might. There may be some mentality before that. So I have gotten a fair bit of progress. I'm not sure if you recall, but I know that I did from like this dark black spot over, and I know that I got a lot further down here, and that this patch here is all done as well. I have now completed 6 full blocks, which are 100 stitches. This is 1/1 on 22 count Aida, also known as hardanger. And am I anywhere near finishing a page? No. The page finish is actually this row to this row. Well, a little before this row. So I'm nowhere near finishing a page, but I am enjoying it. It's very, when I hit longer pieces of color, it makes me feel a lot better. But sometimes there's just like one color, one stitch in one color, and then I should have picked a different one, but this one's going to be awesome, and I'm going to end up giving it to my mother because she's the owl queen. And he's just so cute. Like, I love him. I'm going to love this. And so, if you look at this, and you know that this is the dark spot here, you can, I'm starting in the upper right corner, so you know that is this spot right here. That is where I'm at. So, I'm getting into this portion here. Once I hit that moon, life's going to be like smooth sailing, but it's getting to the moon that's going to be an issue. I don't work on it for very long because, of course, it's on 22 count and lighting. I'm just going to say that, 22 count plus lighting. Sorry, I have to adjust this Q snap. And it's a newer Q snap, so it's being a beast. The one that's on the owl is an older Q snap, so it's kind of going to start to give out soon, which makes it like really easy to take off and on, and I really should put felt around it, but whatever. And then I have Frederick, the literate, who was a gift from my hubby. I did not bring the picture in because I'm a bad person, but as you can see, he now has a paw and an ear and a face, and most of his body here, and this is where a book goes, and there's also books over here. Actually, right, this weird brown splotch right here is a book, and then the books keep going over. This is the end of the page, like it actually ends there. And let me tell you, after working on the owl, Frederick is a friggin' joy. I love Frederick. The blending isn't too bad. I'm just having fun with it. I'm really having fun with it. It's very well charted, multiple colors, kind of fun. I've got my Gina's Unique Boutique needle minders on it. And same, like the only needle minders I have are from Gina's Unique Boutique. And I love them. What can I say? Such a jaunty angle. So, sorry, Flemmy. That was going to come out either way. My plan for this week is more knitting. I'd like to get back to my mittens. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jess and Pam. I'm sorry. But I know that Jess is, you know, she's got one done. She hasn't started the other one. Or maybe she has. I don't know. But she's getting there. And Pam has long been done. So, because she's Superwoman. But I want to get back to those. Oh, hey, I forgot one. I didn't show you one. Shall I show you one, and we'll make it an hour, and then I'll call it quits, shall we? In my Ellipsy bag, which is, of course, highly coveted. Hey, hey, hey. What is in there? I suppose it would help if it didn't get caught on yarn. I worked some more on the husband's hoodie. I don't want It is out of Knitter's Nightmare in the Wickedly Worsted base. It is the Neptune colorway. This is the Robin hoodie I showed you last week. I got 2 more repeats done on it. I think I have 2 more and then the hood is done. So that's that. There is cabling on both sides, which sucks, but it will look awesome, and that is everything I have. Really, literally, everything. I don't have any more, and I gotta keep... See, the provisional cast-on keeps getting stuck everywhere. So that is everything I have. You can find me on Ravelry. You should come join the Ravelry group. Feel free to post things in the Ravelry group, ask questions, do whatever you want. Do join in on the 16 pairs in 2016 if you're crazy. I know I'm crazy, so I'm definitely doing it. And that's really all I have, and I'm kind of tired now. So I want to go and actually knit or spin or do something. I hope you have a great week. I hope if you're looking for podcasts, you check out A Guide du Nord, which only really works if you're French, or if you speak French, or if you're Quebecois, or if you're in a French-speaking country. But still kind of fun. Or if you're English, if you speak English, the Knitting Expat. She's adorable and funny and British living in Bahrain, which entertains me because I'm Canadian living in America. So, see you next week.